Welcome to Eagle Spire Gaming, where we are building a budget-friendly 3,000 point list starting with the Legiones Astartes battle group. Today is July 9th and I'm your host, Crown. We've got a lot of models to build, so let's get started. I hope everyone's had a good time since the last time I posted a video 2 weeks ago. It should have been enough time for people to get some models done. I was able to finish the last few things I needed to make a 3,000 point list of my own, and it doesn't use any of the stuff in the previous video. I'll post it later, but first I want to talk about the Legiones Astartes battle group before they all get sold out, and there's no point in having this video because you can't get it anymore. Before we get started with that list, though, something that stuck out to me in the building process of this that became a little bit of a problem. I wanted, very much so, to maintain what I felt was a good budget from the Solar Auxiliary list, where I only needed 5 additional kits to get to 3,000 points, and I got to 3,000 points we got there on the nose, and that just wasn't possible this time. I looked at all the numbers, and the Solar Auxiliary box the battle group is 260 points more than the Legiones Astartes battle group. And then I looked at all the kits, and all the kits in the range are more expensive for one compared to the other. And some of that's because the Bane Blades, you get 8 Bane Blades to 6 Predators. You get so numbers play a big part into it. Kratos, compared to the Super Heavy, the Bane Blade kit, is where you see it shift and you actually get more for the Legiones Astartes, because there's 4 Kratos, which comes out to 300 points, versus the 2 Bane Blades, which gives you 200 points. I'm going to say Super Heavies because same thing for the Shadow Hammer, Storm Hammer. The Storm Hammer is also 200 points in that box, at the same price. So otherwise, aside from the Super Heavies duking out against each other, it's more, you're gonna get more points out of your Solar Auxiliary every time. And for the infantry, that was easy to identify. The problem is, with one kit you get half of a detachment of 4 things. You need 2 kits to get more. So when you do get 2 kits, you end up with 485 points as opposed to 212. So you get 61 points more than you would have gotten with 2 individual kits that you don't combine. Whereas the Solar Auxiliary Infantry, it's 254 or 515 for 2 kits. So you get, everything's just more, there's more bulk to the Solar Auxiliary, and that ends up being more points. So with that in mind, I did have to make a higher budget for this list. I managed to do it with 6 kits. I had to double down on the same kit. I did get more multiples of the same kit than I did with the Solar Auxiliary. And that is, in addition to that, I also had to get the Spartan kit. It's just too many points for us to not take that kit. And I felt like that was unfortunate, because for how much infantry we have, a second transport just didn't seem like what I wanted to do. But they're Space Marines, and we're going to be moving up the board really quick and disembarking. We're going to disembark a whole bunch of troops in the midfield. The goals for this list, we want to use as many of the models as we can. We want to not really skew into one thing or another, which is why it was unfortunate about having so many transports. And we want to get the most out of those purchases to keep the cost down. The list is not going to be the most efficient use of the detachments, but where I had the option to, I did put all of the Assault Marines into one single detachment, as opposed to having them spread out into multiple detachments of tacticals, where they're stuck, not able to be used to their fullest potential. We have 1 Astartes infantry box, 1 Astartes support box, 1 Astartes fast attack, a Kratos heavy tank squadron, and a Rhino transport detachment. From there, we are going to add 3 more Astartes infantry boxes. Space Marine infantry boxes just work better in even numbers, where each of them, where you can have a multiple of 4 for the Terminators, the Assault Marines, the Plasma Guns, which right now aren't the best, but that's still gonna eat more points than leaving them off the table. And of course the missile launcher. We're also gonna get a Xiphon Interceptor Squadron. The same logic as with our Solar Auxiliary group. We just want it for those points, but it is still a good kit. And finally, the Spartan Assault Tanks. So our formations are going to be as follows. We want 2 Legion Garrison Forces. One of them is each of them are going to have a Rapier Battery and a Tactical Detachment. One of them will have a Derrido Dreadnought, and one will have the Tarantula Battery. With the support box for the Legion Astartes, it has the same issue, a similar issue to the Solar Auxiliary box, in that the numbers don't add up for what you can field in minimums. In this case, the Tarantula Battery, you have to go with 4 of them, but you've got 2 different weapons. So not as bad, I think, as the problem for the Solar Auxiliary. I did want to get a second box instead of the 3rd infantry box, but without a total of 4 infantry boxes, you don't have enough core choices. You don't have enough tacticals to actually create enough formations to fit everything. And for simplicity, I just went ahead and I put 2 missile launcher supports in the first formation and 2 plasma guns in the second formation. As we did last time, you can mix and match these anywhere. All 6 of these detachments are going to have Xiphon Interceptors in them, just 1 each. And we've got the Kratos squadrons, 2 squadrons of 2, 1 per detachment. With the Predators, you could make a 7th detachment and have an armored detachment in, but it will break very quickly. And since we aren't making this list with any intent of maximizing our formations, if you need 7 formations, go for it, but otherwise, this way, they aren't going to break as fast. Then we have 3 Legion Demi Companies. Our first Legion Demi Company is going to have 2 detachments of Terminators in them, and we've got the Spartan detachment in there that can transport them. Then I sprinkled in, there's 4 Dreadnought Talons that need to go into all of these, so I sprinkled them in throughout all of the Legion Demi Companies. Mix and match as you see fit. And then we've got you've got to put in your Assault Detachment. We're going to keep those in a unit of 8. You've got the Leviathan Dreadnoughts. You've got 5 Rhinos in each of your Demi Companies. Your Rhinos are going to come with enough for you to have Multi-Meltas and Havocs in them, and that'll get them up from their, without you'd be spending 100 points for them. We need them to cost 120 points, so you'll use those to get the points up. It doesn't matter where they go. Specifically, if you want to put all of them in one and leave nothing in the other, that is entirely up to you. And then we have the Sky Hunter Phalanx. It'll have our Scimitar Squadron, both of those put into 2s, and then the Landspeeder Squadron and the Javelin Squadron, and of course, our final Xiphon Interceptor. If you wanted to consolidate some firepower and put the Xiphons together, as well as get rid of any of the extra formations, you could crush everything into 4 formations, and you would save yourself 212 points, and that would be enough for another infantry box. Or you could grab another support box. You wouldn't be able to fit everything in, but then we do get some more of the Leviathan Dreadnoughts. So A little bit trickier to build this list this time. Took a lot more. I wanted to do different things, but in the end, it was just a bit more constraining and a little bit not as simple as our first list. But in the end, I think it comes out pretty good. I don't have it built yet. I have mine behind me right now. But when I get a chance, I will definitely put it on the table and see how it does. But what do you think? Let me know. Comment below and tell me how it goes or what you did with your box. What's your list looking like? I look forward to hearing it, and I will see you all next time. Until then, this has been Eagle Spire Gaming. Thanks for flying by.